All right. Welcome everyone back again to the Vertical Weekly EMAs, the place where we take you guys to the latest updates, through everything that is happening behind the scene, and of course, give you guys the ability to ask questions directly to the team of everything that is going on. I see Hit is playing around a little bit with yes. Oh, well, yeah, this is good. All right, guys, today something super exciting is going to be happening because we have a guest here today that is going to be joining us, one of our most influential team members that has been working on the Vertical Studio for months now. One person that has been leading the whole tech team in terms of the fine tuning and deploying this on decentralized clouds, and also making sure that everything is happening automated on the background so that you don't have to worry about coding on the front end. You don't have to worry about any of the technicalities on the back end. It's just a few clicks on the button. Only thing that you need is some messy data. And guys, I can't amplify enough how super proud I am on the team today, because about 10 months ago, we launched our token with a vision and a mission to build a platform that consisted of three main products, of which, first of all, of course, the vertical stream, which soon is going to be functioning as one of the biggest AI model libraries where people from the vertical studio will be able to list their models on and will be able to monetize them through the users that we attract to the platform. Don't forget, we already have over 50,000 users. So all these users will be exposed. All these users will be receiving an email for the Vertical Studio. And of course, not forgetting about the final product that we've promised, and that is the Vertical Cloud. Guys, today we are reaching a moment where we have delivered the things that we've set out to build, and now we have laid out the full foundation for our ecosystem. But what I would like to say here is that this is not where we're stopping. Better even, this is where we are going to be accelerating. Because now that the foundation is laid, now that we have all these products operating and interacting with each other in our ecosystem, we can start making it better, polishing it, and making sure that we attract as many users to our platform, and therefore also, turning on that flywheel that we've set up through our token utilities a few months back. Guys, I'm super proud again on the team for where we've come right now. But don't be mistaken, this is a big milestone where we are, but this has only kickstarted a new beginning of where we are going into massive acceleration. And we are already in talks with major partners that have been interested in this exact launch, that we are now showcasing this to, that are going to help us to become a giant in the space. So a lot of exciting things are happening, all because we managed to build the first version of the Vertical Studio. Guys, I'm not gonna let you guys wait any longer. So without further ado, I would like to call Kevin, the studio lead engineer of Vertical AI, to the stage. Kevin, how are you doing, buddy?
Doing all right, doing fine, I guess. Now that we've achieved this milestone of actually running all the components in Symfony, more or less, for the first time, and being able to demo it. So yeah, great achievement, and I'm happy to be able to finally show something that we built in the last couple of months.
Yeah, awesome. So, Kevin, tell me, how have the past weeks been? Because obviously, I know they've been a bit hectic, but tell us a little bit, man. How is it like to come from such a big corporation where you've worked before, now, fully taking the lead into a startup and managing all these product releases?
Yeah, it's very different, I have to say. As in, before I was pretty focused on very well defined roles. I would have to say, and then coming to vertical, I started doing like way more things at once. I set up the entire cloud environment. I came up with architectures. I implemented CI/CD pipelines. I implemented the monitoring, did tasks on the data science side, on the DevOps side, and like the last couple of months before finally starting to work on the front end that I will showcase now were somewhat lonely, but also very very productive, I would say, because I've been building like crazy with some support from David, who's been working on the first iteration, and so we could take all these learnings from the first iteration into the second iteration, so it was way more clear where we want to go into the second iteration. And now the last couple of weeks, especially with the front end team finally joining forces, focusing to get this out into the world, have been amazing because we've been really productive. The startup pace is real. It's very different to cooperation or like a consulting setting where you are in a big enterprise and you
Mm-hmm.
for the next 6 months and you execute on them. And here it's more like every day something changes, and then you integrate a bit, and then something breaks and you need to change it, and then finally you make steps forward. And now we're here and we built something great, I think. And
Mm-hmm.
we did so with pretty not limited resources, but with a pretty small team of very capable engineers. So yeah, pretty fun times, intense times, but
Yeah.
all very positive.
Well, obviously, right. You've taken the lead here, especially in the last couple months. But I think that David, Roy, Ryan, Mac, they all deserve a big shout out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody has been a big player in the development of where we are right now. So, well, I would say, Kev, feel free to show your screen and share with us the first demo of the Vertical Studio.
All right. So let's see here. You should be seeing something by now. All right, let me jump over here. So this, as you can see right now, is the current, let's say, state of the user interface of the Vertical Studio. It's a bit more polished than the last time, um, but yeah, it's more or less the same idea. And so the overall idea of the studio was obviously to create custom AI models that are like tailor-made for a certain purpose, and it's pretty easy to build these models here. And maybe before I go into the workflow, I can even show you something that we've made with it today, just to have some very very easily to explain use case. And right down here in the user interface, you can see my models, and we actually have the model Burger Chef. So I created a model that helps me cook very good burgers, and we can go test it out. So I click here in the use model screen, and then I should go to the inference interface, and this is then where we can use this model. All right, there we go. Message Burger Chef. So I can ask something like, how do I season a really good burger? And it will come up with something. So it's thinking, thinking, thinking. And by the way, this is the non-prod environment. Performance, we will still tweak it. And once we do the public go live, we will have the big beefy servers in the backend that will respond pretty quickly. And now we can see here, I get a response, use a generous amount of salt and freshly ground pepper, about 1 teaspoon of salt, and so on and so. And well, what can we learn from this? Well, I can show you the data set that I've been fine-tuning this on. And fine-tuning in the end means we want the model to behave in a certain way. That means if it gets a certain kind of question, it should respond in a certain way that we fine-tuned it on. This can be knowledge, but this can be tone of voice. This can be the length of the answer. And in this example, let me show you the data set that I fine-tuned it on. And this is this one, and let's search for seasoning maybe. Um, let's see where this pops up. Here's something about proper way to season burger patties, and it says season generously with salt and cracked pepper, and just before cooking. So we find some of the stuff that we read in the response here, and it's also a fairly short response, right? So, and this is what it did. We find like the half teaspoon of pepper, and then what we can do right now in the studio is we can compare it to the base model that has not been fine-tuned. Actually, what I found is, if I ask this question again, let me just ask again, how to season a good burger. What I found is that our base model, that will be the available base model in the first release, which is Qwen 3 with 8 billion parameters, it actually knows quite a bit about burgers. So it will also provide a pretty good answer. And you can see what, though, from my fine-tuning data set, that in the data set, the response is pretty short, and the base model will create a response that is very different. You see, it's way more extensive, because this is how the pre-training was of the base model. But you can see from my fine-tuning data set that it responds in the way that I wanted it to respond in my data set. And here it creates this lengthy text on the base model, but it also does fairly well, but it's not a fine-tuned response. So yeah, this you can do in the studio. So you can see this is the fine-tuned one, this is the base model one. And now let's look a bit into the workflow of how to create such a fine-tuned model actually, and what you can do with it. So if I go back here, I can start building an AI model here and just put in my project, my goals, and what I want my custom model to achieve, what I want it to sound like the tone of voice. And we can do something. Maybe let's just do the burger example again, so you just see, or maybe not, I don't know. We can also, let me just see. All right, then let's go. You are a specialist in burgers and barbecue. You help me cook the perfect burgers. And what this will do now is, the first step is it will create a system prompt for our new model. And this is then Burger Chef 2. And we can see there's a text-to-text model. Qwen 3 8 billion is the base model, and it has the system prompt that I can even edit here. And this we will tweak in the future to be a bit more like a Q&A style, to really get all the details out of the user. But right now it does fairly well with the information that we gave it. And it does an optimized system prompt even. Like you can see, you are BurgerBot, an expert pitmaster and burger scientist with 20 years of backyard and competition experience. So it's fairly nice. And now there's something that we implemented that we learned from in the first iteration. And this is actually creating the fine-tuning data set. Because when we first implemented the first iteration of the studio, the backend kind of expected a certain data structure to already be available in the fine-tuning data sets users upload. But this was one of the biggest bottlenecks, because users just did not have the right format of their data set. So what we created here is a dataset creating agent, and what we can do is we can pretty much just dump any file in here that's text-based, so JSON, CSV, XML, plain text, even text-heavy PDFs. I even dumped research papers in there, and it will just take that and then in the background create a dataset for the fine-tuning in the correct structure, so this can be passed on to the model later to actually then run the fine-tuning job in the Akash network. So let me just show you how that works. Here's my datasets folder. Let's go again with the burgers.json file that I just showed you. I will upload it. And then we could upload more files, but I guess that's sufficient for now. And I will just say generate dataset. And now we send out the request to some API that then actually feeds it into an agent that is specializing in creating these data sets. So it will kind of right now call these endpoints, chunk up the data set that we uploaded if it's too large, and then come up with a perfectly formatted data set that we get previewed here. Right now we get a preview of 10 items, but it will actually make sure to extract all the information that is in there. So this should be above 100 data sets that are in there that are just converted into the right format. And now what we just do is we click train model with our system prompt and with our generated data set. And then we get a nice notification here that training job started. And now Burger Chef 2 is in training, as we can see from this pop-up. And then this is a pretty lengthy job. So it depends on the size of the data set. But when I trained Burger Chef over here, it was roughly a 20 to 25-minute job, maybe. So we send that to decentralized GPUs. It will then fine tune on the generated data set and then finally come back to us with the green trained icon once it's ready to use. I guess in this AMA, we can check back later whether it's done or not, but right now we can just let it run. And then we will end up in this state and be able to use it, and it will behave as we expect it to behave from what we gave it with the system prompt and our fine-tuning data set. So yeah, that's the state I can show you right now. Yeah, yeah, I hear you.
But explain a little bit, like maybe the API accessibility that comes
Yeah,
soon. Those kind of things. Run us a little bit through what is coming next as well.
absolutely, I can do that. So the first that giveaway are these icons here, I think, on the My Models tabs. So they kind of show the most obvious one is the copy API endpoint. So the next thing, or one of the next main features that we want to release is actually providing users with API endpoints and API keys to be able to integrate these custom models into their workflows, as you can do with any LLM endpoint. It will be OpenAI API spec compatible, so it will be integratable with any workflow. You can put it into your bot if you have a bot on your website, maybe that you want to fine tune on answering user questions in a certain style, maybe even. So this is a feature that will be coming pretty soon. Then we can see, all right, this is a Qwen 3 8 billion base model. We will add more models in the future. That's another thing that's coming. We can see here, this is a text to text model. We will definitely be working on providing different modalities as well in the future. So that might be text to image, image to image, maybe text to video. We will see. We will obviously have to see in the community whatever is asked. And then right here we have the private icon. So what that means is you will be able to actually publish your fine-tuned data model in the stream and then be able to monetize it. So if users like your custom model that you created for a certain purpose, they will be able to use it, and they will have to spend some of their credits on it. And the creator of this model will actually earn by creating custom models for a certain purpose. If they're really good, then they will be adopted by the community, and you will be able to monetize it. So those are huge features that can already be kind of derived from what you can see in the user interface. And then another big feature that is coming in the future, where Brayden has been working on relentlessly, is the knowledge section. So we will have a big and super optimized RAG workflow, meaning that you can integrate all kinds of static knowledge, let's say, into your models as well. That means you will be able to not, if you're not just fine tuning the model for a certain behavior, but you just wanted to retrieve certain knowledge, you will be able to dump large text files in there, video files, audio files, and the model will then be able to retrieve this knowledge in a chat interface. So big features coming up, and we have such a long list of things that we can build upon this that I guess the next couple of months will be just feature release after feature release in a, I don't know, somewhere probably between 2 and 4 week cycles, depending on the feature size. So super exciting, and this is just the foundation for it. It's super solid, and yeah, I'm looking forward to build on this and be providing updates every other week that make the
Mhm.
product even nicer to use.
Yeah, guys. So as we said before, right? This is the version one. Like so many things are coming for this, and we're gonna go into acceleration. It's the third time that I'm saying it this EMA, but that means that with this we can onboard new partners. With this we can really start scaling up our team a little bit more. we can start working in these sprints that we've been doing for a while already. But our target is to be releasing new features every 2 weeks for you guys. So what we're showing you here right now will already be completely improved in like 2 to 3 months. So, and that is our vision, right? The next 6 months, we are going to be making this into the most versatile and most easy to use tool for AI customization that actually exists on the whole internet. And an exciting a mission to strive towards, and this foundation is the first step that we go into there. All right, so we have a lot of people tuning in, and I think that we can go for the questions.
All right. Should I just go through them, or do you want to read them out?
Yeah, let's see. Hidde, are we already having questions?
There are already some questions on screen, Mark.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Bubble Flipper asking you, do you always need to use the dataset creation agent?
Yeah, good question. We are planning to build features around this that make these models super useful, even without fine tuning. That means fine tuning is nice. Obviously, it's good if you want to use your model to kind of fulfill repetitive tasks, as in answering in a certain way, or maybe fulfilling some kind of instruction task where you give it some input and it's supposed to kind of rearrange that input in a certain way. But if your model does not need that and you just need it to retrieve custom knowledge, or maybe it's even enough for you to create a system prompt and just choose the fitting base model for your task, then it's not needed to create the dataset agent. It's just if you want to use fine tuning. But yeah, long term, obviously, fine tuning will be an optional feature. And we will guide the user on when to use which feature.
Awesome. Bubble Flipper, I hope that answered your question. Thank you for your question. Let's see what we have more, guys. We have a very busy viewing today. We have massive massive crowd that is watching here. So I expect a lot of questions to come. All right. One of our most supportive community members, Hans Louise. What is the next main focus of the team after the launch of the Vertical Studio? And Kev, I'll give you the opportunity to answer this from your technical side, and then obviously I can answer that also from the business management side.
Yeah. So the boring answer, I will do it first. Because the boring answer from a user perspective is probably stabilizing everything, monitoring everything very well, make it scalable, make it fast, just see that users always have a great experience. This is super important because you can throw out features quickly, but if your application becomes unstable and you just have a backend that doesn't really scale with the number of requests, then users will have a bad time, and we want users to have a great time with the product. And now for the exciting answer, the other main focus, I assume one of the main focuses we have is what Braden built, actually. I think RAG and knowledge retrieval and being able to dump all kinds of knowledge in there is super, super valuable. And it's something that many platforms cannot even offer. So on our side, it's something that is super great to build really good vertical models. And the other thing, I think what to me seems super reasonable, but we will need to actually check that with the communities, the external API provisioning, meaning that users can use these models beyond the Vertical Studio user interface that I just showed you in the browser, but actually integrate it in any workflow that uses some kind of agent, and you want a custom model for that. You can fine tune it on our side. So I guess feature-wise, these are the two big ones that are coming up.
Yeah, awesome. And guys, in terms of the business side, we've managed to get to over 50,000 registered users, right? And this has been in the last, I don't know, like 6 months. And the first product that we released was maybe 8 months ago. That was the beta version of the stream. Like, you've seen what happened to the stream. It became better and better over time. And that's the same thing that is going to be happening for the studio, like Kevin said. So What we're busy with behind the scene as management team is, now that we have laid that foundation, we are going to be aggressively attracting users. And with the studio, we are going to be focusing mainly on B2B clients, because this is where we see where a lot of entities have gathered a shit ton of messy data over the last decade, because everybody's been working on the computer, and all these companies have no idea how to turn that messy data into AI gold. And this is exactly where Vertical is built for. We want to help those companies turn their messy data into valuable AI output. And this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be scaling up our sales. We're going to bring in very quality users. And the real fun actually starts right now. We took the time in the past 10 months to build where we are right now. I would like to thank everyone for their support, but we're now going into full acceleration and business building in terms of revenue generation, and also making sure that the token is a big part of that as well. All right, let's see. Let's not fart. Great name, man. Love it. The question is, hey, off character questions. You technically own all the models trained at that site. You are the custodian.
Yeah,
Interesting question.
good question. So obviously, you can see from the base model selection, these are open source models. We chose Qwen 3 for the first iteration. Those are hosted on Hugging Face. So I guess if you ask these kinds of questions, you will know about Hugging Face. This is where we get the base models from, where we load them from. So they're the lab that is behind that model is essentially the custodian or the owner of that model. And then for the fine tuning output, we don't really merge it with the weight of the models, but instead, technically, it's kind of adapter that is falling out of that fine tuning. And yes, we are the custodian of those artifacts that are produced in the fine tuning process, and we have full control over them. We store them, and we obviously also allow users to delete them if they delete the fine-tune model in the background. So yeah, we are the custodian and we have full control. It doesn't go anywhere to any servers or any LLM API of one of the big vendors where you might have a bad feeling, or like where you heard some bad stories in the past about maybe using your data for some training stuff, or we don't do that kind of stuff because we don't rely on it.
Awesome. Nice. I hope that answered your question. Let's not fart. All right. Well, here, Orze, one of our most loyal community members. Let's see. I see multiple questions in here. We're going to go through them one by one. In what capacity will you be at Token 2049? Frizo and I will be going to Singapore together, and we will be taking our girlfriends, which will help us shoot content and also, of course, help us during our own private event that we're hosting on the 2nd of October. We've invited over 30 partners that have been influential for where we are right now, and also partners that are going to help us bring Vertical to the next level. And we're super excited, looking really forward to Singapore and also networking there with quality new partners. Second question, how are the paid subscriptions going? Well, actually, this is an interesting question. It's actually going pretty well, especially for the stream, which is essentially more of sort of a side product that needs the studio to really come to its full potential. But we're actually reaching 100k annual recurring revenue at the moment, which is, in our opinion, pretty nice for a product that we didn't really expect it that fast of an recurring revenue. Obviously, the stream is a product that is going to be functioning as sort of uh, a library of all these custom models that people create in the studio. It's going to be functioning as sort of a marketplace where people that list their models over there can monetize it based on the uses that we have over there. And to really bring out the full power of the stream, we actually need the release of the studio, especially listing your model there. So with already being at 100k ARR, I think we have managed to set up a great setup for scaling this even further and faster. I hope that answered your question. Let's see for a final question, and finally a tricky question for Mark. Which exchange will be first, Bybit, Binance, or BitGet? All right. Well, let's leave that in the middle. But if I had to choose one of the trees, and if I have to assume based on conversations that we're having, probably BitGet will be first. But when that will be concrete, things will be shared with the community. Don't assume that we get listed there straight away from this answer. But we have had some conversations with all three of them. So. Anyway, let's go to the next question. Whoa. That's a lot of questions that we have today. Bubble Flipper again. How is the partnership with Fetch integrated? Well, I can answer that pretty straight. The thing is with Fetch is that it has built their own autonomous agent workflow builder. And that means basically is that anyone can go to their platform and build an agent and deploy that on chain. The thing is, though, is that these agents, they have the ability to get an API as endpoint to the model that you integrate in those agents. So the integration here really is that Fetch is one of our verified external integration partners, where soon when you have customized a model on the Vertical Studio, you can grab that API, copy it, and then integrate it into one of Fetch their agents. So we are making sure that you have the most capabilities with the model that you create. Obviously, doing a Q&A is nice, but we want to make sure that you can put your model to work, that you can bring your model to life. And we're not going to be building a whole agentic workflow builder ourselves. We have a lot of companies around us that have done that already. So we're not going to reinvent the wheel over there. We're just going to partner with very quality platforms that already have these things set up, so that we can give you the security that when you create your model, you already have a list of partners that you can go to and integrate that model to bring it to life. Wow. This is Kevin, you're bringing out all the questions, man. Love it. Again, I'm not going to repeat his name again, but let's see what he says. Okay, one more try. Do you plan to enable people actually use the Avalanche side of the token? Do you plan to enable people actually? I don't get this question. One more. Do you plan to enable people actually use the Avalanche side of the token? Yeah, guys. So a part of our strategy for our token has been to make it as widely available as possible. This is obviously also the reason why we have a SEX listing strategy, which we are working on right now. And obviously, besides having our token listed on many sexes, we also had the ambition to have our token tradable on multiple chains. And Avalanche has been one of those chains that we've already deployed the token on. This has been a strategic partnership together with our advisors, Elio Trades and Alex Becker. Obviously, they are co-founders behind the Black Hole platform, which we've used to, bridge our token and get tradable on the Avalanche chain. Do we want to enable people to trade there? Well, we've already did it. Feel free to go there. We have access to the whole Avalanche community. And we also, of course, have already bridged our token to Base as well. So I hope that answered your question. El Major, we have seen a lot of partnerships over the past few months. Can we get a post or dedicated EMA talking about how the technology of Vertical's partners fit into the ecosystem? Yeah, so in regards to this is also pointing to Fetch, right? And also to Skynet that we've partnered with before. There are a couple more that are in the pipeline. Obviously, when these things become more concrete. So as Kevin showed you, we now have the flow ready. You are able to build that customized model and use it yourself. We expect to have in about 2 to 3 weeks to have that API available for you guys. And when we have that API available, obviously we'll be doing an EMA to showcase to you what you are able to do with that API with our verified external integration partners, of course. All right, so I see now that Let's Not Fart said Avalanche Verti can buy credits is what I mean. Okay, so what we've did actually, if you have those tokens on Avalanche and you want to use them to buy credits, you can use our own vertical swap / bridge that we have built on our token page on our lending website. So if you have tokens bought on Avalanche and you want to use them for credits, I recommend you to use our own, module. I can maybe showcase it here real quickly. Yes, let's do it very quickly. Welcome to the studio, guys. So when you go here and you go to our token page, you here see this module. You can bridge. So you can click on the Avalanche. You can click on the Avalanche part and then go to Ethereum. You connect your wallet with wherever you have the Avalanche tokens on. And you should be, within a few seconds have the Ethereum version available. And then you can use those to buy credits, guys. This is one of a small product that we built custom. Always nice. All right. Let's see. I don't think there are any questions more left, right? Hit them. If not, then I'm gonna make it a final. Guys, we're gonna be pushing this to production hopefully tomorrow, maybe Friday. And then you will be able to get access to the studio and start customizing your model that you want with your data yourself. Just like Kevin showed you guys, you will be able to do this. One notice though, this is going to be free for everyone for the next 2 to 4 weeks. And so everyone that comes in can use it for free. You don't have to buy credits yet, because obviously we need to see how this reacts to real usage over a big group of users. And we are going to see how we can optimize that first before we're going to integrate that payment wall and make you pay for it, right? We just first want to make it just slightly better. We just need that final step to make sure. So take that opportunity, but be first, because we're only going to open this up for the first 100 people that sign up as a studio user. Or maybe, was it 100 or 250, Kevin?
I think it was 250 actually. I'm not sure.
All right. So the first 250 people that sign up as a studio user will have free access to the studio. You can train as many models as you want. But guys, please, if you see anything that needs to be improved, share it with us in the community. You can leave your feedback on the platform. We are building this for you guys. So we like to take you guys with us in the development process. If you have any ideas, if you have any feedback, don't hesitate to share them with us. We are open for it always. So don't forget, first 250 studio users will have free access for at least 2 weeks, all the way up until 4 weeks. And then if you're late, then sorry, you have to wait until the payment wall goes up. But yeah, I think that is enough. Kevin, you want to add something here before you leave?
Yeah, I think you said the most important part. Use it, break it, let us know what happened, let us know what you like, let us know what you need, and we will do our best to make it happen.
Perfect. All right. Well, Kevin, thank you for jumping in today. We had a massive crowd watching this today. So thanks everyone for joining in. I wish everyone a great day, a great evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Mark and Kevin tuning out. Thank you.
Thank you.